Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, as always, mate. I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. It's a beautiful day here in the kingdom. Spring has arrived, over 20 degrees. So naturally, in my sweaty little office, I've got the Only Jan's vest out for you lucky people. Today on Chelsea News, there's a lot of stuff being spoken about, of course, in these troubling, uncertain and turbulent times. Antonio Conte, apparently... Yeah, stick with me. Apparently Chelsea have considered him, or are considering him as a Chelsea return, but they're worried about his Tottenham implosion. We'll read a little bit about that from Football Insider. A bit on Penders, because apparently he's worth 41 million quid and the most valuable young goalkeeper in the world. That's good, I suppose. We'll reference a little bit on a news column on the BBC, actually how Mudryk could return next season. Yeah. Some other stuff maybe. Nico Jackson, Possible. This is from Nizar Kinsella on the BBC. So that'll be interesting. And apparently Barcelona want to sign Joao Pedro if they cannot sign Julian Alvarez. And we'll preview a Premier League game. Excuse my stomach rumbling. And that is Nottingham Forest, who are having a nice time, it has to be said. They just beat Villa in the first leg of the semi-final of the Europa League, which is, big. Villa are good. And away from home in the Stadium of Light, they slapped up Sunderland 5-0. And that's not supposed to be the easiest place to go, Sunderland, although they're meant to be like a good team, still with some sliver of hopes of form of European qualification. So they're, hardly on the beach. They went away from home and scored 5. They're, of course, going away from home to Stamford Bridge. And I hope they don't do that. So we'll preview the game, we'll build a little lineup and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, strap yourselves in, it's going to be a good one. Let's go. Gang, gang. Right, here we go. Let's look at this then. Football Insider. Callum O'Connell writes the following. By the way, happy 1st of May, 1st of the month. Antonio Conte. Chelsea have major worries about next manager after Tottenham explosion. Or implosion, you could say. An implosion. Chelsea have major worries about reappointing Antonio Conte after taking note of his dramatic exit from Tottenham in 2023. The 56-year-old spoke out publicly against the board, their decisions in the transfer market, and the club's lack of success in recent years. Ring any bells? Ding, ding, ding. I mean, off the bat, it's as much as Chelsea fans, yeah, I guess the Chelsea fans would love him back, certainly at Stamford. It's Conte jumping in with the crowd, passionate. It does feel like the mystique from the Italian has been diluted since, like Mourinho did, he went to manage Spurs. There was that weird handshake moment with Tuchel, which was pretty funny. And of course, at that point, Chelsea were fully behind Tuchel, made us champions of Europe. So Conte was the enemy. But there is this nice idea that he'd just come in and just drill the ruddy so-and-so out of these kids, make him run, make him play, and make him resolute. And there is something alluring about that. But would he work in this hierarchy? Surely not. Also, I do think he could be available because it's all going wrong at Napoli, isn't it? He's even followed, Lukaku's even upset. I mean, he upset Daddy. So, it's all going Pete Tong over there. So former Man United chief scout Mick Brown, who's one of their insiders, I suppose. Chelsea are worried about Conte's volatile nature. Of course, after Enzo Maresca was sacked. Apparently, it was very much a mutual walking away. Mick Brown, is it Mick Brown? My brain's already melted. Mick Brown, yes, he told Football Insider earlier this week that Chelsea are considering Conte among the other potential candidates to be the Chelsea permanent manager. 106 games of Chelsea Conte, 70 wins, 15 draws, 21 losses. There was good times. There was also that weird game against Man City when we refused to touch the ball. That almost annoyed me as much as the Sarri game when we got slapped up 6-0 by Man City from naivety. But there was this moment, you might remember, where Cesc Fabregas is staring at the ball. I think KDB's got it, and he just refuses to press, and it's just like, why are we even here? Like, it was an embarrassing situation. I don't want to think about it. Nah, mate. No way. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Antonio Conte bowls back up at Stamford Bridge with this mob in charge. Unless he wants to, live in London again, and he thinks, you know what, South West London's cool. They have got good players. I just wouldn't mind it. I think he fell out with Marina Granovskaya, Conte. He sued Chelsea, if you remember, and won. That's another thing that gets lost in the wash in terms of like the romanticising of previous gaffers. He sued Chelsea and won. But that was obviously different time, different regime. Would he come back? I don't know. Let's talk about this though. Look at this young lad. Mike Penders, Chelsea manager, given £41 million welcoming gift as Blueco transfer gamble pays off. But has it? Mike Penders could replace Rob Sanchez between the sticks next season. The 20-year-old goalkeeper, I went very posh there, who Chelsea signed from Genk for £17 million back in August 2024, has caught the eye while out on loan at Strasbourg. He's got 9 clean sheets, conceded only 39 goals, boasting the 4th best defensive record in the division. Not bad for the youngest side in Europe with a very young goalkeeper, I suppose you'd have to say. He helped Strasbourg reach the semi-finals of the Conference League 2. They're 1-0 down away from home against Rayo. So there's a chance they could turn that around the second leg, get to the final and play probably... Maybe, well, either Forest or Villa, still can't call it, and they'll almost certainly lose to them, I think. But anyway, the main story here is CIES, Football Observatory, or you could say Keys. Let's just say CIES, Football Observatory, valued him at €47.3 million, which is £41 million, making him the most valuable young goalkeeper in the world. And there's my finest Jeremy Clarkson for you there. Yeah, it's worth talking about Penders. It's so tough. The Robert Sanchez quandary goes on. There are some people that think, look, if you tell Rob Sanchez to play a certain way, like McFarlane told him to play against Leeds, he played very well, some long balls, he made some good saves. It's almost like he's more confident to make good saves if he knows he doesn't have to sort of mess about at the back. Do you know what I mean? And there's some people saying, yeah, there's a world where we keep Sanchez and just bring Penders in. You get rid of Jorgensen. Best of luck, man, wherever you go. And then you bring Penders in, and then you could say you challenge for that, but I still think we need to go up. I mean, look, I'm so tired, man. Robert Sanchez has made me so tired. There's an argument that the certain way the football, the Maresca attempted Rosenio football doesn't suit Rob Sanchez. And maybe, just maybe, the new manager comes in and goes, yeah, he's good. He's a great shot stopper. And I won't need him to do silliness at the back. I'll keep Rob Sanchez. There is a world where that happens, but I'm not sure my heart can take it. For me, especially the fact how we went in for Maignan last summer, feels like a friggin' lifetime ago now. I do feel like they're gonna sign a new goalkeeper, and I probably endorse it, mate. Right, we're going to speak about a little bit of Mudryk, Jackson, João Pedro, and then a football match that we're going to play. But this weekend, I haven't watched McFarlane's pre-match press conference, so I'm going in a little bit blind, but that's okay. We'll just vibe through it. Just a quick reminder, gang, to like and subscribe, and if you do want to support me here on the deep, dark abyss that is the YouTube algorithm, you can drop some of those hype points down here, and no, it's just a bit of admin, mate, but if you could go on your podcast app, Spotify or Apple, search Football Therapy Podcast, takes a second, follow and 5-star rating, that is very kind. Thank you. It's free, fun content. Why not chuck a like on? Right, so I'm going to go over to the Bubica now. The BBC. This is there's like a bunch of stories here aggregated. Nzar Kinsella they've spoken about how we all already know Mudryk's done his appeal to the Court of Arbitration of Sport for his doping fine. He's already not played for 16 months. There's speculation, of course, if he gets his 4-year ban reduced to the same of Paul Pogba, he could play he could literally be available next season. So he would have already served the 16 months. I guess does his off season count? When officially there's no football, or do you have to like wait? Is it like, business days? You can't you can't count the weekends. You can't count the off season. That'd be kind of cruel, wouldn't it? I just quickly want to find this line. If Mudryk's ban is upheld by CAS, he'll be unable to play again until roughly December 2028. But if the ban was reduced by CAS, he could be back on the pitch in a much shorter time frame. Sources close to the player believe he could be back in action as early as next season. Dun, dun, dun. That's pretty. Is it exciting? I don't even know anymore, man. We're in the trenches. What do we need? Do we need Mudryk? Do we need a Mudryk who's not played football for a very long time? Is that what we need? I have no idea what we need now. But it would be nice for him. If the ban is taken down to 18 months, he'd be ready for next season. So, yeah. Right, sticking on Chelsea attackers. Firstly, we'll go back to BBC in a moment. This is at CFCPYS Pyth on X. Barcelona has a plan B to Julian Alvarez. The name is João Pedro. Informal contacts have taken place, those ruddy little snaky bastards. Chelsea have no intention to sell the player. Good. At the moment. Oh. João doesn't even think about negotiation. He's focused on finishing the season at Chelsea and preparing for the World Cup. I mean, I think he likes Chelsea. I think he's having a nice time. But there is always a bit of a prang that, he came from Brighton. He's gone to Chelsea. Big move. He's ambitious. He's doing well. He's probably going to start for the for Brazil in the World Cup. And it's Barcelona. Now, it's usually Real Madrid that pull our pants down and take our best players. But there is also an element of we aren't very good right now. And Barcelona are very good. Like Hansi Flick style football. Yamal, Rodrigo, Rafinha. That's how you say it. That's how you pronounce it, not Rodrigo. And Lewandowski's very old, though younger than me, so kind of hurts to say that. Right then, Nico Jackson. This is back on the BBC from Naz Kinsella. Just very quickly, we've had a few questions around the 24-year-old striker Nicholas Jackson. Bayern Munich are not going to sign him permanently. We know that. They've not taken up the option, or certainly they've not triggered the clause. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they just try and waive £45 million under Chelsea's nose, which we wouldn't accept, I don't think. Just be like, it's here if you want it. We'll take him, But I'm not sure he'll want to just be the backup striker to Kane because Kane just feels like he's just going to keep going for a while, and Nico's in his prime, he's 24. Assessing the options will be difficult without knowing who the head coach is. Well, that's another thing, yeah. However, during his spell at Chelsea, Jackson's personality caused friction with former head coach Enzo Maresca and members of the hierarchy who remain in place. It's a personality thing with Nico. But, we knew he sort of fell out with Maresca. Chelsea also still have striker Liam Delap on their books. I do believe Delap will probably be sold, actually. Now, I know Everton are looking around. I haven't queued this up for a story in this content, but I know Everton are sniffing around Liam Delap. So, that feels very Everton-y, doesn't it? Bruja went there as well, didn't he, on loan? Teenage forward Mark Gu, who I also think will be loaned or sold. And established starting option João Pedro, who is our boy. Not Barcelona's boy, Chelsea's boy. Well, Strasbourg striker Emmanuel Omega, of course, will be joining in the summer. I don't think he's in great form, by the way, Omega. He has come back from an injury, though. But it does feel like, speaking of injured strikers, we maybe should have signed Panicelli instead. Is that how you say it, Panicelli? Anyway, Nico Jackson. All right then, so you'll notice, not for the moment, there's no manager talk, but of course I will return to all manager updates very, very soon, of which I'm sure we'll see developments with Iraola, hopefully Xabi Alonso. I think there is this idea that he said on his X account, Alex Goldberg, mate of mine, he said he knows Badalik Barley looks on Twitter X and is interested in getting a fan approved appointment this time, which of course you've seen a lot of Chelsea fans say, I want Xabi Alonso. Now, should a club be run by the owner looking on Twitter being like, what the fans saying? But it's nice for fans, but it's probably not. It's probably a pretty embarrassing way to be set up. Anyway, I'll of course keep you updated on developments with managers, stories, etc. Is that English? Anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at this harrowing nightmare. Forest's last game in the Premier League away from home. They are away from home at Stamford Bridge on Bank Holiday Monday, actually, which is frightening to think. They were actually outshot by Sunderland and won 5-0. Let's look at the lineups they use then. They played a 4-4, a double striker system. So is this what we're to expect? This new double striker system from Vitor Pereira's side. Anderson, of course. Gibbs White in sensational form. I need to make sure I put him in my fantasy Premier League. I forgot to do it last week, and, with no players played. Absolute howler from me. Very sad. But yeah, Gibbs White is in sensational, insane form. He definitely should be on the plane to America. And look, everyone's eating here. Everyone's eating in this setup. So I guess they'll try that 4-4-2 again, because they're playing against a 4-2-3-1 de facto anyway, and that's what Chelsea kind of are. So they'll be like, freaking hell, we won 5-0 away from home. Let's just do that again. I reckon there'll probably be an element of that, if it ain't broke. And 5-0 away from home would certainly suggest not broke. Then don't fix it. Let's build a lineup, shall we? Here we go. Lovely. Stay there. Okay. In the sticks, it will be Robert Sanchez, who stocks between the sticks, shall I say. Not in the sticks, that means around the woods. Sanchez, starting goalkeeper. Now, Cucurella will be our left back. I don't think Reece James will be ready. I haven't seen the press conference, so we'll go Gusto right back. Now, I think Hatto won Player of the Month for April, didn't he? So you could I don't know about, Tosin did well in the semi-final, and I think Callum McFarlane likes him, but I don't really want to see, maybe it's unfair, but I'm going to go with a Hatto Chalobah partnership. Chalobah playing on his native right side. It's tough because, we really looked like we had leads. We kept him at a distance, basically, at Wembley. And Hatto, although he won Player of the Month for last month, it was a month of us just getting battered, conceding loads of goals. So there is that as well. I'm going to put him in because I think he deserves a shout, but it might be Tosin. All right, then. Caicedo should play. Lavia going to get 60 minutes. I think that looks very good. And Captain Enzo Fernandez will play in the de facto 10 role, which means Cole Palmer, who's been misfiring of late, especially in the absence of Stebau, will be a de facto right winger, but of course the shape will change in possession, which we could have a little wiggle around at the moment. Chelsea's, and not Barcelona's boy, João Pedro will be starting up top, which probably means we'll have either a Neto out position on the left, possibly an Alejandro Garnacho, but I'd prefer not, so Pedro and Neto. In possession, You will see a box midfield. Fernandez staying in the left pocket as a box crasher. Cole Palmer in the right half space is like a right number 10. And Gusto as a flying right back / right wing back in this instance will be adding the width with Neto on the other side. Chalobah can just move over. He's played right back, right centre back, all sorts. And maybe Hato in the middle? That's quite interesting, actually, because we've seen Hato in some advanced positions. I'm starting to think he's going to play Tosin, because Tosin plays that central role. He was like deputy to Colwell, wasn't he, originally? So I'm going to switch to Tosin. Big tall player in the middle. And there you go. And that's the shape in possession. Tough. I don't know. Wow. I have no idea what Chelsea's going to turn up, man. Genuinely. They obviously weren't having Rosenia. They obviously didn't fancy him. They phoned it in. They chucked it in, which is pretty disgraceful. If you ask me, it makes me feel rather uncomfortable. But we are here. Here we are. And I think they're probably feeling themselves a little bit more. But Forest have just won 5-0 away. I mean, I'm just because they've also played on Thursday, last night, at time of recording, I am going to give Chelsea the win. I'm going to say a 2-1 home win. Goals from João Pedro. And maybe let's give Cole Palmer a goal from open play. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? I want that. And, you know, a win... And we think, and all you can think is like, right, you know, we've got a win, we've got the win in, we're moving into the next final 4 games or whatever it is. Just keep winning, see what happens. See if Villa win the Europa League in 6th spot is Champions League. Just keep playing well, and on the route to playing well, it gives you confidence up for when you play Man City at the FA Cup final. Man City will be between fixtures in terms of. They'll have to play important Premier League games either side, which for them is just vital. So therefore, they might play a slightly rotated side against Chelsea, and we can hope for that. But I still think, you just got to win a game first. Win the game that's in front of you, and that game is Nottingham Forest at home on Monday. What do you think, though, guys? Please do leave your thoughts down in the comment section. Thank you, as always, for liking and subscribing here on Football Therapy on YouTube. Thank you for heading over to your preferred podcast platform, following and 5-starring when you search Football Therapy Podcasts. You can, of course, watch the video on Spotify as well. Delighted for your support, or grateful for your support. Delighted to see it. Right, I'm going to go frolic around in the sunshine now. Maybe go for a bit hot for a run, but I've put on a bit of timber. You've probably noticed I need to stop drinking beer. I said start then, Freudian slip. Jesus, the sun's out and I'm thinking about starting to drink beer. Right, see you later. Peace.